When you ask many people who the best player in the NFL is, you will probably get a few different answers. Mahomes will probably be the most popular as he was far and away the best player at the most valuable position for the longest time. Maybe you'll hear Saquon Barkley, a flashy running back who just carried a team to a Super Bowl victory, or even maybe Lane Johnson, who played like the best tackle in football last year. Or maybe you'd hear the name Myles Garrett, who was my pick for the single best player in the National Football League. Myles Garrett may not be the most flashy player, he isn't some superstar quarterback who dances around and lobs deep bombs and gets all the oohs and ahs from the casual fans, and he isn't some athletic home run hitter running back, but what he is the most physically dominant player in the entire NFL, while playing in the most ruthless and physical area of any sport, the trenches of the NFL. Today, I'll be diving into what makes Myles Garrett the absolute best player in the NFL and how he wins as a pass rusher and how he physically dominates the game. But before I do, please take a second to like and subscribe for more NFL content. I will try to be uploading more now that we are close to the NFL season starting, so if you can, please take a second to do that. And now, let's dive into Myles Garrett. If you just straight up looked at Myles Garrett's stats and how he compares to other NFL pass rushers, you might think I'm crazy for saying he's the best player in the NFL. But if you know anything about football, it's that stats don't lie, but they definitely mislead. Despite not leading the league in sacks or pressures or QB hits or run stops, Myles Garrett is still easily the best edge rusher in the NFL, and one reason why could be his physical dominance. Coming out of the draft in 2017, Myles Garrett was one of the most insane athletic specimens ever seen at the defensive end position, and years later he still is. Myles Garrett stands at 6'4", 272 pounds with insanely long arms. That alone is impressive. Then you pair that with the fact that he is one of the best get-offs in the entire NFL and has crazy good bend around the corner and just blows by tackles with his speed and power combination. His physical tools allow him to have so many ways to defeat NFL tackles without him needing a deep bag of pass rush moves. All an edge rusher really needs to be effective as a pass rusher are three things: a go-to effective move, a counter off of it, and a third move to mix things up. And Myles Garrett absolutely has all of this. He's great as a finesse and power rusher and has great ability to counter when his first move is shut down. Now, how exactly does Myles Garrett win as a pass rusher? Well, his go-to move is absolutely the speed rip. The speed rip perfectly allows Garrett to use all of his tools together in one move, and it's absolutely deadly. If you don't know what the speed rip is, basically it's all about capturing the edge against the tackle, and once you get to their upfield shoulder, you can rip through and flatten down to get to the quarterback. And again, this one move allows Myles to utilize everything that makes him special. You see the pure speed with the get off and ability to get to the upfield shoulder, and then comes in the power, where Myles rips through the upfield shoulder and powers through the tackle, and finally the bend to get flat and not get pushed around the quarterback. Watching all of his pressures, he used this move to get probably 80% of them. It's a relatively simple move as well. It's not this crazy cross chop or spin or forklift, just run around the edge and rip through. But Myles makes it so effective because he's so elite in every aspect of the move. The speed, power, bend, all of it, he does so well to make a simple move nearly unstoppable. Now you might think if Garrett uses this move so often, why don't tackles just overset and meet him on the edge? Well, they can't, because if Myles senses that the tackle is oversetting to meet his speed rip on the edge, he can so easily teleport inside on an inside counter and get to the QB even faster. While he usually didn't need to, Myles Garrett's inside counters were very effective when he used them. One of my favorite reps from Myles is when he destroys Andrew Thomas on a nasty inside spin move. Another area of his game where his freakish athleticism comes into play is on these inside counters. His change of direction is just so insanely quick for his size and play strength. He nearly teleports inside, it feels like. So if you're a tackle who oversets against Myles Garrett, good luck. And Myles doesn't just have a great pass rushing plan when using speed moves, he also is highly effective in the power game as well. In terms of the power game, his two go-to moves were the bull rush and the long arm. The bull rush needs no explanation, but the long arm is probably the second most used power move in the NFL outside of the bull rush. Basically, the long arm is where the defender uses their inside arm and pins it against the tackle's upper chest, not allowing for the tackle to reach the defender and be able to latch on. And then, in this scenario, the defender can either walk the tackle back into the quarterback, or they can quickly bring down the arm and use a counter move to get around the edge or back inside. I'd say this was Myles Garrett did not use power all that often though, mostly because of his main speed rip was so effective and there's no reason for him to deviate from it, but tackles know that the power is in there and it's very effective. And outside of those moves, there is still more nuance to Miles' pass rushing plans. He occasionally used a cross chop into a rip move to get around the edge as well instead of just the speed rip, and there is one play where he used a fake long arm to beat Roger Rosengarten around the edge. Now going into this rep, obviously Miles knows Rosengarten's strength is his movement skills and finesse, so his favorite move, the speed rip, will be harder to utilize. So Miles uses a fake long arm to get Rosengarten to shoot his hands and stop, and then Miles pulls down the arm, goes straight to the rip move, and bends around the edge. These small things in Myles Garrett's game are exactly why someone like Shamar Stewart, one of the only players ever that can rival Miles' athleticism at the edge spot, will never be Myles Garrett. Even if he develops as a pass rusher, he will never be able to match Garrett's pass rush plan and pure physical dominance as a pass rusher. Miles is a true one of one in the NFL, and even though he may not lead the NFL in sacks every year, he is consistently at the top, and again, sacks aren't everything. The main goal of a defensive end is disruption, and Myles Garrett certainly disrupts.